Let's talk the club. One more thing, like, subscribe and share. Come on, let's talk the club. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk the Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk the Cutler virtual book club, and the Let's Talk the Cutler YouTube channel. It is the 17th of December. We are over halfway through the month and just 8 days to Christmas. And I hope that you all are enjoying this wonderful month. I hope that you are intentional about spending time with family and friends and loved ones. I hope that you are deliberate in all of your actions and that the season is going quite well for you. It is for me, and there's some things that I want to share that I want to talk about. And just in case you're stopping by for the first time and you're wondering, what is this guy talking about? This platform is all about inspiration. It is about motivation, and it is about challenging ourselves to show up as the best version of ourselves. It's all about making sure that we show up as our best selves, even in the worst of situations, even when life is lifing and when life is happening. It is our intention to be resolute. It is our resolve to make sure that we show up as the best version of ourselves all the time, even in the worst of situations. And how many of us know that the worst of situations happen all the time? They happen when you're not expecting them. They happen during the holidays. They happen in the midst of the peak of enjoyment. They happen in the midst of wonderful family times. The worst of situations just seem to happen whenever they happen, and we have no control about that. So we spend this time together in this setting, in this space, to make sure that we recalibrate, to make sure that we chit chat with each other, to make sure that we check in with each other, and to make sure that we check in with ourselves to say, how am I doing? How is my community doing? How is my village doing? How are my friends doing? How are my family members doing? And again, how am I doing with life? And so that's what this platform is all about. And in the midst of all of that, again, it is about inspiration, it's about motivation, and it is about challenging ourselves. From time to time, we all need to be challenged. Sometimes we love the inspiration, we like the motivation, but we don't like to be challenged, because when we're challenged, it pushes us out of our comfort zone, and it sort of makes us a bristle just a little bit. But that's okay. We get stronger and better, and we are more resolute because of things like that. So let's talk about that for just a second. Let's talk about that this evening. I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs, but before I do, I want to say to those of you who have not subscribed, and those of you who are catching me for the first time, and you're catching the repeat, the replay, or what have you, do me a favor. Do me a favor, not just do you a favor, do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe, because I want to know that you're there. I want to know that I'm saying something that is meaningful, that is helpful, that is uplifting, that is inspiring, and all of those sorts of things. And I just like to increase and enlarge our community and our village. So go ahead and subscribe. And after you subscribe, then go ahead and click on that notification bell. I don't know where it is on your particular device. It may be down there, up there, over there, or over there. But wherever it is on your device, go ahead and click that notification button, the notification bell, so that you will be aware whenever I've gone live or whenever I have uploaded new content. Now, don't you all leave. Just stick with me for just a while. I see some of you I see you online, but you haven't come to the chat yet. So come on in and say good evening, hi, howdy, however you want to greet us. Just come on in and say hello to the team and to our family and friends. They're good people. They're friendly. They'll speak back to you when you speak to them. They'll say happy holidays. They'll say greeting. They'll say, let's get aboard and ride. They'll say hello, everyone. So come on in. But let me shout out the three that I see who logged in first this evening. They are Annie Cutler, Linda Martin, and Paula D. I see the rest of you, so come on in. And I want to say thank you to those of you who have been with me for the long haul. It's December, and some of you all have been with me from January to December, and not just January and December of this month, but January through when we started back in 2020. So again, thank you all. I was on a different platform, and we transitioned and we migrated over to this platform. So thank you all. Thank you so very much for your support, for your motivation, for your encouragement. It means more to me than you will ever know. It has given purpose and direction and clarity to my life. So thank you all for that. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. I thank you for all of that. I hope that over the years and the weeks and the days and the months that I've said something that sort of picks you up when you're down and when your head is hanging down. It gives you a reason to look up and live. And I hope that I've said something that sparks a fire under your feet. I hope I've said something that sometimes made you uncomfortable to the point that you said, I've got to do better. I'm going to do better. I hope I've said something that caused you to think about the people who are in your village, the people in your circle, the people in your community. And you said, you know what, I'm not living this life alone, and I might get into this space called better all by myself. I need to make sure that I get somebody and carry somebody along with me. I hope I've said something over the days, over the weeks, over the months, and over the years that have given you the focus that said, this is not as good as it gets. I can be better than this. I am better than my situations. I don't necessarily think I'm better than anybody else, because I'm not created to be better than anybody else. But there are some situations that are beneath me. There are some things that I can do, I can rise above. So I hope I've said something over the years that brings us back to this space, and that deputizes us to then go out and say it to somebody else. All right. So I want to have a conversation this evening about something that has been on my mind. One of the things that I love to do, I absolutely love to do, I've always enjoyed doing this. I think my mom sparked this from when my brothers and I were young. This time of year, we used to love, now you all don't talk about me, don't laugh at me, but we used, and tell me if you all used to like to do this too, but we used to love to just ride around, and my brothers and I would take turns counting the decorations on a particular side of the street. So maybe I would take the left and one of my brothers would take the right, and then there were three of us. And so there was always 2 on one and one on the other side. And then on the way back, we'd reverse the rows and we just count the decorations, all that sort of thing. So we were always excited about the decorations, that we'd count and we would see who was going to win, who's going to have the most decorations. And for us, it was just a fun moment. Did you all have moments like that? Do you have any childhood memories of things that you used to do like that? Please share those in the chat. I love to hear those sorts of things. Did you all count the decorations? Did you make it a game? If you all did that, please let me know. I'd love to know that I was not the only one doing that in my childhood. If you all did things like that, please let me know. But for us, it was just a moment of just having the best time and just making the best of the holidays. And there were people who lived in these absolutely wonderful homes and fabulous homes and beautiful homes. And that wasn't necessarily our story. I think many of you know that I grew up in poverty. But one of the things that my mother taught us to do was to appreciate what we had, where we were, to appreciate and take care of what we had. So we could just ride along the street, ride along the highway, seeing all these wonderful, fabulous houses and beautiful edifices and things like that. And we were always in celebration mode. I don't think we ever got to a point where we wanted what other people had at the risk or at the loss of them not having what they had. To say, I wish we could exchange places. We just, I don't know what happened, but we never were of that mindset. And so even up until this day, drive around to see Christmas lights and decorations. Thank you, Marissa. Please, you all share. Tell me the things that you all used to do as a child, and maybe still do, because I still drive around and look at Christmas lights and decorations. I really, really do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get back to what I'm talking about. I promise you this, but I just have to let you all give you this little insight to something else that I used to do. My great-grandmother, my mom and I were talking about this earlier today. My great-grandmother, one of the all-time most beautiful nativity sets that I have ever seen is a live nativity set back home at this church, and I have to get the name of the church, but it's a live nativity set and scene rather, and there's this whole recreated stable and manger and angels heralding and singing. It is just incredibly beautiful. And my great grandmother took my mother and her brother and took my brothers and me to that. And still, up until this day, that church still does that, offers that scenery this time of the year. So whenever I go home, whenever I'm back home, I make it my business to visit that church just to stand out in the cold and witness that outstanding, amazingly beautiful live nativity scene. So that's something that I do, and it rings true with me. So that's just one of the things that I do during the holidays. Y'all tell me some of the things that you do during the holidays, things that are special memories that you had. I won't keep on going, but next Tuesday I might just jump on and just share, because I know next Tuesday is Christmas Eve, so I might just spend about 10 minutes just sharing some old Christmas memories. But what is interesting to me is that there's so many beautiful scenes over the holidays, beautiful scenery, beautiful things to love, to enjoy. But some of those beautiful scenes and some of that beautiful scenery also causes envy, and it causes jealousy, and it leads to depression and just feelings of darkness during the holidays as well. Because that's I want to talk about this thing. It's called something like holiday envy or holiday jealousy. So can there be such a thing? Yeah, absolutely. It's this feeling of discontent or resentment. It can occur during the holidays when you see that people seem to be having more fun or living the perfect life. And it can be triggered by people talking about their experiences or sharing their experiences, or seeing these people with these ostentatious gifts or just these over-the-top celebrations. And what you start to do is comparing yourself to other people, maybe even on social media or based on what they say in life. And so now you have these high expectations for what your holiday should be. And you're thinking that your loved ones are having the best time without you, and your friends are having these fabulous moments without you. And so you start feeling this thing called jealousy. And that's a real thing. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about that because there's a way to cope with that over the holidays. And maybe I'm not talking to us. Maybe this is not applicable to those of us who are here, but maybe it's applicable to somebody that we know. When we see people sometimes go into this downward spiral, it doesn't just come from feelings of sadness with dealing with the holidays without the people, without your loved ones who are no longer here on the earth, and you just have to carry them in your heart. It doesn't always come from that. Sometimes it simply comes from seeing things and thinking that there are other people who are having more fun and having more picture perfect holiday moments than you. And it just takes you somewhere, and it gives you this warped sense of thinking. And we need to talk about that. We need to talk about how do we combat those moments? How do I handle that? How do I handle that? Just last evening, I was driving through this incredibly beautiful community, and I'll share this. Millionaires live in that community, and owners of football teams live in that community, and some NFL players live in that community. And I was driving through that community, looking at the homes and the lights, and just thinking, what beauty this is. And I was just soaking it all in, still in the midst of that, giving thanks, living in a space of gratitude, and just so content with where I am and what I have and what I've been blessed with. And so I want to talk about that, you all, because that's a real thing. I want to talk about, how do we handle holiday envy? How do we handle holiday jealousy? How do we overcome that? How do we deal with it? I was reading, and I'll share a lot based on something, another article that I was reading today. I was reading something where this young lady was saying she was with her family. She was having a wonderful time. And she said it was just the absolute perfect holiday that she was having, and she was experiencing happiness and blissfulness and joy and peace. But then she made the mistake of going online on social media. And And she said for all of the happiness and the blissfulness and the joy of all of those things that she was experiencing, she said what she saw made all of those things just slowly slip right out of the window. How about that, y'all? Isn't it interesting that you can have a moment? You can have several moments. You can be in this space, but then something that you see causes all of that to just seep slowly or quickly out of the window. One thing can cause you to forget all of the goodness, all of the joy, all of those blissful moments that you're experiencing over a few hours, over a few days. Just one thing that you see can cause that to go away. And then what happens? We start feeling, at least this young lady said, and what I read today, she said she just started all of a sudden feeling insecure about herself. And you know what it was? She saw a picture of a friend of hers in the snow, well dressed, well coiffed, just looking beautiful, and just had this cup, this holiday mug, and just smiling. A perfect picture in the snow. How many of us, not seeing a friend with that perfect picture in the snow, how many of us have been in spaces in our emotions, in our psyche, in our head? We've been in spaces and we've been in these joyous moments, but we saw or we heard one thing that snatched us out of that place. Because when we saw that one thing, it caused us to compare ourselves with that one thing that we see, but we did not seemingly have. Isn't it interesting that we can be perfectly content with who we are, where we are, what we have, how we be, how we show up? We can be perfectly content with everything until we see someone else who seems to be doing it better. And as soon as we see that someone, okay, Cutler, you sound like you're in a pulpit, so don't do that. All right. But you all know that's just who I am. I need to drive this message home because it is interesting that we can be so content with who we are, how we be, how we show up until we see that one person who seemingly is doing it a little bit better. Someone who is seemingly having a little more fun, living the perfect life. And our mind and thoughts begin to go everywhere. And we start thinking about everything that we should have been doing, everything that we should have been creating, maybe what we should have been wearing, perhaps with whom we should have been. We start thinking of all of those things so that we then can also share the perfect picture or share the perfect story or post on social media, the perfect holiday pictures. You don't have to post, so because I don't want this to be self-incriminating, but how many of us in our own private spaces have been there or know people have been there? And then as soon as we allow those thoughts to enter our mind, we start feeling less than. We start feeling sad. We start feeling depressed. We start feeling down. We start feeling low. And then our minds are filled with these unnatural, these unhealthy thoughts. And we start feeling things like jealousy and envy and shame and embarrassment and regret and despair. And we start feeling all of these things. And can I tell you all something? I need to go there this evening and say, yeah, he's gonna go there. But can I say this to us as we're talking about jealousy and envy during the holiday seasons? This is not the way life, and certainly this holiday, was meant to be. I just need to be very transparent and blunt and honest about this, you all. So hear me clearly when I say this. Christmas is not about being or looking perfect. It is not about being or looking perfect. It is not about the perfect outfit. It is not about the perfect tree. It is not about the perfectly wrapped gifts. It is not about any of that. It is not about trying to get one up on somebody who's in your village or who's in your circle, who is in your space. Christmas is not about looking perfect. I just need to go there. Christmas is about the birth of Jesus. It is about the incoming of hope and light and peace into a dark world. And how many of us can't use a little hope and peace and light in the darkness of what we're dealing with? That's what it's about. So just share with people, Christmas is not about looking perfect. It's not about the perfect tree. Yeah, your tree may be absolutely beautiful. Your gifts may be wrapped perfectly. I may not see the tape at all. Your Christmas sweater may not be the ugliest. In fact, it may be the most beautiful. You might win a competition for the best decorated home in your community or among your friends, or the best decorated office or cubicle on your job. But Christmas is not about looking perfect. It's not. It's about the birth of the one who brought hope and peace and light into the world. And so I want us to think, how can I combat those moments of looking at a perfect picture that someone else has, or a perfect picture that they've painted, and I'm not there? I just as well go there, since I've already gone there, you all, because I think we need to share this, and this might be inspiring and motivational, but it may be also challenging. So let's share this with people. Tell them Christmas is not about looking perfect. And how do you handle those moments when you want to deal with this holiday envy, this holiday jealousy? Quite I tell you, the first thing that we need to do is to be thankful. I know we hear it and we say it all the time, but be thankful. That's one way to combat a whole lot of things. It's a way to combat jealousy. It's a way to combat envy. It's a way to combat depression. It's a way to combat a whole lot of things. If we get this one down pat, being thankful, everything else will just fall in line. If we take the time during this particular holiday season to look all around us and appreciate all of the gifts that are around us, not just what we got in December, but all of the gifts that we get all throughout the year. If we take our time to look around us and appreciate all of the gifts that we get throughout the year, recognize all of those gifts. Got to go there, count your blessings and name them one by one. And make a note of all of your blessings, not just what you got in December, but what you got in January and February and March and April and May and June and July, August, September, October, November, all throughout the year. Let me make a note of all of my blessings, because there's always something to be thankful for. But if we're going to be thankful, you've got to let go of your visions and dreams of a perfect Christmas, perfect looking holiday. Got to let go of this notion of comparing yourself with these perfect pictures and these perfect stories that we hear about people. If we're going to practice gratitude, if we're going to practice thankfulness, let go of all of these idealistic looking things and operate from the foundation of gratitude. It'll make you fully embrace this season with a different perspective. It'll make you embrace this season from the perspective of the things that you get all throughout the year. Be grateful for nothing else. If for nothing else, be grateful for your life. So you want to handle holiday jealousy and envy and all of that, and combat this notion of the perfect picture. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for your life. And you all know I'm not always so blunt and so forward with what I'm about to say next. But you all, those of you who know me and you know my story of faith, I've got to throw this one in. This season, as we think about if Christmas is about the birth of Christ, then why not just take a moment and meditate on Christ? Just do that. Let's just learn to do that. Let's just learn to be deliberate and to be intentional about what we are thinking of. because we can't keep repeating the old scripts, the same old things in our mind and thinking that we're going to get a different outcome. I can't keep thinking the same thing and and then think that I'm going to get a different result. If I'm going to deal with the reality of where my life is, I have to make sure this season, let me try something different. Let me meditate on Christ. Christmas is about his birth. Let me meditate on the one who stepped down from his throne of glory and came into a space where he can deal with my brokenness. Let me just deal with that for a moment. Let me be deliberate and intentional about what's going to flow through my head and through my heart and through my soul and through my spirit and through my mind this season. Let me be intentional about that. Let me find it in my heart to say whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report. I'm going to think of those things and think on those things. That's what I'm going to meditate about during this holiday season. I'm going to meditate on the one who stepped down through glory. I'm going to meditate on his overwhelming, outrageous, ridiculous love for me. I'm going to meditate on his gospel of peace, the beauty of his life. I'm going to let those things take over my mind and shut down anything that looks like a negative mindset this season. That's what I'm going to do. Anything that comes to hold me captive and that comes to hold me hostage, I'm going to be deliberate and intentional about thinking and how I think this season. Can I tell you something else? Have fun. Absolutely have fun. Do things that you enjoy this holiday season. If you're just sitting around busying yourself with what everybody else is doing for the holiday, or comparing your Christmas tree or your decor or your decorations or your table settings with everybody else, then guess what? We've already lost the meaning of Christmas if that's all we're doing. Let me see if I can decorate my house as well as they do. Let me see if I can wrap my gifts as well as they do. Let me see if my table setting looks like theirs. Let me see if my tree is live where theirs is artificial, if my live tree looks as good as that. If that's what we're doing, we've completely lost the meaning of Christmas. Learn to do things that are fun, things that you enjoy. Because if that's what we're thinking about, no wonder our minds are spiraling downward. No wonder we're creating beliefs that we are not enough and that we're not worthy, that there's no value in us, because we find ourselves comparing ourselves with everybody else. And we are doomed from the start if that's what we're going to do. So then, do things that are fun. Listen, grab somebody out of your family, out of your friend, out of your village, out of your circle, out of your space, and do things that are fun. Do these activities that bring joy to you, whatever it means to you. We have something in my family that it is a tradition. We call it the Cousins Christmas, and we've already observed it one weekend, and we get together and we do silly stuff. We'll play tic-tac-toe with ping pong balls and cups filled with water. Different teams. We will pretend that marshmallows are snow. We'll pretend that marshmallows is a pile of snow, and we've got to shovel the marshmallows up, blindfolded. All sorts of things like that. We'll pretend that we're sledding down a snow-capped hill, and toilet tissue with the snow, and our sleigh is there, and we're coming down the hill, and we just do all sorts of things. They make us laugh. They take us out of the seriousness of a moment and will cast us into the fun and the frivolity of what the holidays are all about. Enjoy your Christmas by doing fun things, you all. Things that bring fun and laughter to you, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. And here's one for the road. I've got to go. We're only here 1,800 seconds, y'all, but don't leave me. Let me just share this one last one with you. If we're going to handle the holiday envy and the holiday jealousy, let's learn to put down the phone. Let's learn to let's just put it down. The holiday season, it's all about the birth of Christ. It's about celebrating his birth with the ones that you love. It's about getting together and spending time and space, fellowshipping, and remembering the greatest gift of all. But if we end up spending the majority of our time scrolling on social media and doing what we do, those sorts of things, we're going to miss the significance of the moment. We're going to miss the significance of the season. We're going to miss precious moments and memories with family and friends and opportunities to create memories. Because when we're scrolling, we're opening ourselves up to compare ourselves with the perfect pictures that people post. And can I tell you, most of them are not perfect. We are bombarded with filtered pictures and planned and strategic photos that just capture only what people want us to see. And then our minds are overtaken by this thought of comparison and by envy. So what's the solution? Put the phone down. Unplug for the holiday. Don't bring your phone to the dinner table. If what you see in the home where you're hosting or somebody else is hosting, if it's beautiful, take pictures before you go to the table and put your phone down and talk. Put your phone down and open your mouth. Put your phone down and open your mind. Put your phone down and open your heart. Put your phone down and open your eyes. Put your phone down and open your ears. Put your phone down and open your soul. This Christmas, I challenge you. This season, I challenge you to spend one day without your phone. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all for giving me the space to share all of this. Some of this was based on what I read today. Much of this was based on what I feel from my heart, based on what I think we need to hear. I want us to have a mind-blowing, wonderful holiday season. Like I said, next Tuesday is Christmas Eve, and I'll probably hop on for just about 10 minutes to just bid you all a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas. But let's do what we do, you all. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Let's keep our heads up and our hopes up. Let's stay safe. Let's stay sane. Tell somebody else, come on, let's talk the color. Please know from my heart to yours, there is and always will be, always has been so much love. Thank you all for this space. This is the last weekend to do your shopping, so make sure you go and do that. You know, some people, they might be, oh my God, not boycotting, striking. So if you haven't ordered, if you're going to order through a particular means, just, hey, listen, do what you need to do. You might have to go to that brick and mortar to get your gifts. Let me get up out of here. In fact, let me go, because I might have to go and get some gifts myself. So I got to check on a few things. So I got to go. I will see you all Christmas Eve. All right. But until the next time we chat, go and tell somebody else, come on and let's talk. Good night, everybody.